Hello there. The past decade has been a tricky one for a music fan like me, whose heart lies in 70s classic rock and 90s alternative rock. Guitar music has faded into the background, and to find the good stuff I need to go digging instead of trying to enjoy whatever was being played on the radio. But it was also a decade of surprises, as I found my musical tastes expanding and I realised that I like more types of music than I thought. Since I've most likely listened to less than 0.01% of the music released between 2010 and 2019, I realise that I'm in no position to talk about whatever the best music is.
And there's no such thing because music is completely subjective.
So this video is going to be about what the past decade has meant to me, the artists, albums and songs that defined it for me personally. Obviously, I can't include too many clips of songs here, so I'm adding a link in the description to a Spotify playlist that will include all the music I talk about here and more. One of my favourite artists of the past decade has definitely been Swedish folk duo First Aid Kit. Sisters Clara and Johanna first appeared on the scene in 2008 with an EP, but they released their first proper album in 2010 and followed up with 3 more. They've perfected the art of 2-part vocal harmonies and have created a sound inspired by folk and indie, with a little bit of country. All 4 of their albums are worth a listen, but for me, they really broke out with their 3rd release, Stay Gold, in 2014. I've always been particularly impressed with their sound. Seriously, those harmonies are great. And the fact that they managed to add a lot of atmosphere to relatively simple music. They do a lot with a little. The other major artist for me was Nine Inch Nails. Between Trent Reznor's work with his main band, he also released a series of film soundtracks with collaborator Atticus Ross, one of which won an Oscar. Reznor has continued to alter his sound, and his music is now far more varied than the industrial rock he became famous for in the 90s, and dare I say, much more interesting. Hesitation Marks is one of the most underrated releases of their career, and the various film soundtracks each explore a wide range of sounds. Reznor has kept himself and his music relevant, and continues to create some of the most rewarding listens out there. Okay, let's talk about albums. This debut album from Chvrches mixes synth-pop and indie. It has catchy hooks, great production, and isn't afraid to get aggressive at times. Each band member gets a chance to shine throughout. I haven't found their follow-up albums to quite match up to this first release. A surprise return from David Bowie after years of no new releases, this is a straight-ahead, guitar-heavy rock album. Even with the classic Bowie weirdness, it's one of the most accessible things he's released and is surprisingly uplifting. Foster the People's debut album is indie pop made for dancing to. It stands above a fair bit of similar music that was being released around the same time and features great vocals from singer Mark Foster. Royal Blood exploded with an exciting sound featuring the bass guitar as a driving force. This is full of big noisy rock riffs and should be played loud. I just found it a shame that their follow-up album didn't forge any new ground.
Danger Mouse's collaboration with Yeah 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 singer Karen O is a dreamy, lush mix of Motown, orchestral, indie rock and R&B. Despite the genre hopping, it has a very cohesive sound and really gorgeous melodies throughout.
On the bed, star, star night. You're not coming for me, I'm coming for you. I'll turn my dreams into a menace.
Norah Jones has stepped away from her jazz blues roots and ventured into moody indie pop. This is a fantastic breakup album. Her vocals mix really well with the fuzzy guitars and electric pianos.
Beautiful soldiers in their beds, making love. You don't have to tell the truth, 'cause
One of the best albums from Queens of the Stone Age and also one of their most accessible. Like Clockwork is catchy, noisy rock with great use of rhythms and syncopation. Wolf Alice's debut album evokes shoegaze with lovely vocals on top of crunchy guitars. It's an ambitious evolution of its grunge roots, but surprisingly restrained, to its benefit.
when the light creeps back the blinds, I met you at the top of the shore.
Bat for Lash's most recent release sounds like a lost 80s film soundtrack, because that's more or less how it started out. This is a gorgeous synth-pop throwback that feels sincere, bringing up all sorts of nostalgic images of driving at night.
Does it hurt so good? Does it matter?
Bowie's final album is an experimental jazz rock release, and one of the most David Bowie-esque things ever. It's not an easy listen, but it is an essential one, and very rewarding once it clicks.
Here, I'm in heaven.
In no particular order, here's a bunch of songs I liked.
You say you can still be friends.
Come on. And when you follow through, hold on, and baby, baby, don't say things low, 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 low. What you got down, baby? How dirty? So I stay down with my demons. Crawl out to the break. So I'm going for a walk. When you have to face the blues, I give you sight. Every little word upon your lips makes a little control. Stand up and deliver your world. Singing in the old bars, swinging with the old stars, living
Been into you. Now it's 3 in the morning, and I'm trying to.
your eyes, love, 'cause you've been sleeping.
And the black smoke rises.
It's just the way you so good, so good, so fucking real. My hand, your hand.
A hero is all that we know now. How I love you, bitter child.
Here are two guitar solos that really stood out to me from the 2010s. First up, there's the solo from Delicious by A Perfect Circle. This is a soaring melodic piece that takes the song to a new level and is also simple enough that you can hum it back. And I also love this bluesy improv from Red Bull and Hennessy by Jenny Lewis, which is more of a turn up the volume and jam kind of thing. So that's what the 2010s meant to me in music. I'd love to hear what they meant to you though, so please leave comments below with your own thoughts.